So the other thing we wanted to go over today is guiding principles, and it goes back to that question about the core, and that when you're looking at the core principles or the guiding principles, this is just kind of our overall what we think about ourselves, right? I mean, it's what we've learned as kids. So in the book, I used the example of the exercise of the 20 words that you think best describe you right now. So there's a little chart in there. There's a chart in your workbook where you can sit down, and hopefully you've done this. If you haven't, do this. It's a great little venue, a great little exercise to look at. And 20 words that are best describe you. And make it fill up the whole 20, because the first few will come easy, but then it'll get harder and harder as you're trying to think of other descriptors of what you think is about you. Don't ask other people. This isn't what other people think about you. It's what you think about you. And then the second exercise is what we call the magic wand exercise. It's the same thing. You're going to go 20 words that you want to describe you. So if you had a magic wand that you could wave and magically make it appear, what would the 20 words be that you'd want people to use to describe you? So fill those both out. So you do the one and then the magic wand one. The first one is pretty easy. Like I said, stretch to 20. 20 is on there for a purpose, and then it makes you dig a little deeper. If we just said 5, that would be easy, and we wouldn't put much thought into it. But 20 makes you dig quite a bit deeper. And go until you run out of ideas. Once you get the 2 lists, then you can compare them. So the thought here is once you get the 2 lists, and it goes around the book, that then you look at what the difference is and what are the most important ones that you want to change. Again, this is all just mindfulness. It's just bringing to mind what you think about yourself currently and then what you want to be, who you want to be. So why is it important? Well, this is a quote from Gandhi that I think sums up exactly why it's important. Your beliefs become your thoughts, and your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits, and your habits become your values. Your values become your destiny. So it really goes back to what we think about ourselves, what we believe about ourselves, our personal beliefs through this lineage becomes where we end up. So a lot of times we are aware of what we were thinking about some time ago. So if we want to change our destiny, we have to change what we believe about ourselves. So that's the importance of that magic wand exercise, to take a look at it and say, this is the kind of person that I really want to be. And then start moving along that. I know you fixed mindset people are going crazy right now saying that's not possible, but give it a shot and just reward yourself differently. So again, it's pretty important to draw this conclusion that your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits. And that's what we're talking about, is trying to change your habits to more healthy habits. But in order to do that, you need to start believing that you are the kind of person that is healthy, that you are the kind of person that enjoys eating healthy, that enjoys getting the right kind of exercise, that enjoys getting out and getting activity. Because once you get that in your head, then it becomes part of your thoughts, and then you'll start acting more like that. Those become your habits, and once we're there, then we get to changing where you're heading down the road. And as we covered before, this is all part of trying to break the way it is mentality, which is just simply when the past and the present condense on each other, and we stop taking activity, or we stop trying new things because our identity over here, whenever something new comes up in a circumstance, our identity thinks we already know what's going to happen, so we don't take any risk anymore. That's living in this box we know as the way it is. So instead of that, what we're trying to do is keep them separated. We want, the past is important. We need to learn and acknowledge from things that have happened in the past. We have our experiences, our opinions, our reasons, our excuses. All those live in the past. When we have to decide on an action in the present, we need to make the decision on that action solely on what is best at that time and not let the past dictate our actions. Because what we want to do is look at a different thing. So we're in the present and we've got to decide an action. Well, we've already showed you that we look into the past and then take action based on the past. But what we want to do is add a new box of the future to the other side. So instead of deciding our actions solely based on what we know from the past, what if we decide our action on what we want in the future? What do we want to be different in the future? Because if we look into the past and we decide our action based on the past, we just reinforce what we know from the past. If we look into the future of what do we want to be, then we take a different action in the present and we start cycling on this side of the equation where we look forward to who we want to be, what we want to be, how healthy we want to be, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And then we come back and we take action in the present to make that happen instead of continually reliving the past. So that's the vital piece of this puzzle, is making sure that, yes, we need to acknowledge what's happened in the past because we don't want to repeat those things that didn't go well. But we never want to not look at what we want to accomplish, because then we can decide on the action that moves us towards our goals, not relives the past. And one of Ralph Waldo Emerson's quotes that I really like is, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. So this has been around for a long time. A lot of philosophers, a lot of thinkers out there have talked about it, but it's coming up with an actual step-by-step process of doing it. So now you know your mindset, you know what kind of mindset you have, whether it's fixed or growth, or if you're one of those people that migrates between them depending on the situation. Because the whole key comes down to the whole DNA question, right? People think, does DNA dictate everything? Does it? Yes, it dictates our height, it dictates our hair color, skin color, even to some extent whether we have hair, eye color, even a little bit on body shape, but it doesn't dictate who we are as people. It doesn't dictate what we can learn, what we can grow to be. And it doesn't dictate our future or our destiny, other than if you're 4'10" and you want to play in the NBA, that might dictate your destiny a little bit. But for the rest of us, we can become whatever we decide to be. It's just having that faith and taking the steps we need to take to get there. Okay, with that, are there any questions out there? I forgot to remind you at the beginning, but if you have a question, there's a little box over on the right side to ask a question. So you can pop in there and ask a question if you want. And give everybody a minute. And you should have gotten an email about the HRA health risk assessment. Please fill that out, and remember that's one of the criteria for being eligible for the prize. 2, we've started drawing the weekly prize winners. Congratulations to you guys. So we put those in based on how many times you work out and getting weighed each week. So you can get multiple entries into those. Also like to remind you that February 21st is the Pathways to a Healthy Heart webinar, which is going to be at Memorial Hospital Founders Hall. You do have to call and make reservations because the seating there is limited. If you haven't made it yet, call as soon as you can, because we think that's going to fill up pretty quick. We're really excited to have Dr. Tommy Lee, Dr. Sam Singh, Dr. Bill Baker, all there. We also have Dr. Corey Gonzalez, clinical psychologist, is going to be there, and a registered dietitian. And I'll be opening it up with an introduction to Health Through Wholeness, which is the new nonprofit that I've started. So, a little rundown housekeeping there. Other than that, I don't see any questions. So, just like to encourage you to keep making your workouts, keep exercising, doing those exercises, get that extra activity in. And just be kind of mindful of what you're doing through the day. Try to get little bouts of exercise as much as you possibly can throughout the day. Cooper's Institute does show that there is a summation effect of movement through the day. So go ahead and get that done as well. And then watch those meal plans. If you can exercise, but you're not going to get full weight loss effect. You're not going to get full bang for your buck here without the nutrition component and without this mental and emotional side of things too. What we're going for is a full, holistic approach to this. We want physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness to really get people to a state of health and wellness. So with that, I would like to thank you all for your time and attention. I'm going to let you out of class a little early today. I'll be sending out the link for next week, and I'll be posting this link too. So thank you, and I will talk to you soon.